Moon river, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Hey, it's Nate with another piano tutorial. Today I'm doing Moon River, originally performed by Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's. I'm gonna do this in the style of Audrey Hepburn's recording, but in Frank Sinatra's key of C, which is easiest to play and fits my voice a little bit better. There's some jazzy chords in here, but it's short and it keeps the same rhythmic pattern the whole time, so it shouldn't be too much of a lift to learn. Let's jump in. Okay, so first off, I recommend you get the chords and lyrics chart. There's a link down in the description. That'll help you follow along and see where the chords and the lyrics line up with each other. We'll start out with the intro. Here's the chord progression for that. Just 2 measures of C major, but this is a great opportunity to get the hang of the rhythmic pattern we're gonna be using. Here are the notes we're gonna play for the C major chord. So in the right hand, we're doing C, that's middle C, and third finger on E, and then in the left hand, C, so bass C, and then thumb on G. And for all the chords in this song, I'm gonna show you 2 notes that we're gonna play in the left hand, one at a time in a little pattern, and then there will be 2 or 3 notes we just hit together in the right. We're in 3/4 time. That means that every measure gets 3 counts. We're kind of feeling 1, 2, 3, nice and slow. And right off the bat, we're gonna wanna think in 8th note. So dividing the beat in half, thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and. Because we're gonna break this left hand into an 8th note rhythm. We're gonna do bottom, middle on 1 and, and then on 2 and 3, we're gonna hit the right hand. 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3. Of course, the ands are still going 1 and 2 and 3 and. So just take a little bit of time here, getting this feel in your muscle memory. And if you find this is too hard to do while singing, you can always do this tutorial and just do the left hand bottom note throughout and just do 1, 2, 3 like that. Ideally, you leave both left hand notes held down till the end of each measure, but of course, we're gonna be switching chords around. That's where the sustain pedal really comes in, because we wanna hear all the notes until we get to the next chord. So we'll just do a quick little pedal lift every time the chord changes. If you need help with the pedal lift timing, I made a video all about that. Speaking of chord changes, here's the first line of the first verse. So we've got a measure of C, just like we've been doing it. Next up, we've got this A minor chord. We're just gonna kind of move this shape down here. And so it's gonna be A, E, and we're gonna do the full 3-note triad this time, A, C, and E. So this measure of A minor is gonna be 1 and 2, 3. We're gonna move this exact shape down 2 more spaces to F. So F, C, and then F triad, F, A, C. Now we've got this C over E. So in the left hand, we're gonna keep our thumb on C, and we're gonna just stretch our pinky to E. And then in the right hand, we're also gonna keep our pinky on C, and then we're gonna do that. E, second finger, G, and C. 1 and 2, 3, and then we go back and forth again. F, 2, 3, C over E, 2, 3. Okay, almost done here. We've got this B minor 7 flat 5. So in the left hand, I'm just gonna do octaves on a low B to the higher B. If that's too much of a stretch, you could just do a single B here and forgo the 8th note rhythm. But then the right hand is gonna be F, B, and D. So 1 and 2, 3. Finally, coming up here with the left hand to E. Gonna do a D there to get that E7 sound, and it's gonna be G sharp or A flat, probably says B and E, second fingers on B. So let me play through that whole line slowly, and I'm gonna sing it. Moon river, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream. So here's the next line. We've got a A minor, just like we did it. So that's going to be dream, and now maker. So here's our C7 over G. From the A minor, we're going to keep our top fingers here on the E's, and then stretch pinky down to G. So that's G and E. And then it's also going to stretch down to G here and do a B flat there to get that C dominant sound. Next we've got an F, just like we've been doing it, up to this B flat 9. This is an interesting one. So in our left hand, we're going to do B flat and a D with our third finger. So we're doing a third there in our left hand this time. And then in the right hand, thumb on A flat, second finger on C, pinky on F. So one more time on that second line. Oh, dream maker, you heartbreaker. Okay, one more line, 4 more measures. Here they are. We're back to the A minor for 1 measure, 1 and 2, 3. Now, the next 3 measures are interesting. They each have 2 chords in them. Let's take this one here, the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 to B7. So here's the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. We've got an F sharp in the left hand, and the right hand's essentially just going to keep playing that A minor. And for these 3 measures, we're going to actually on beat 1 just hit the chords together. And then we're gonna go to the second chord, hit together on beat 2 there. So here's what we're playing for the B7. We can do second finger on B there, and we're gonna keep our thumb on the A and just kind of come down here, second finger on B, fourth finger on E flat. And the little dash at the end of the measure represents another count of the B7. So on beat 1, we hit the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. On beat 2, we hit the beat 7, and on beat 3, we're just gonna hit the right hand again. So 1, 2, 3, and now the rhythm in the next measure is gonna work the exact same way. We've got this E minor 7 all together, E with our pinky, essentially just a G major chord, G, B, D here in the right hand. And then to get to the A7, second finger is gonna hit this A here. We're gonna keep our thumb on A. So it's G, second finger on A, fourth finger on C sharp. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now, third time, really similar here. D minor 7, we're doing D in the left hand, F, A, C in the right hand. 1, and then keeping that thumb here, second finger hits the G. And these 2 notes step down to that. So F, G with the second finger, fourth finger on B. So really slowly counting through that third line. 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Wherever you're going, I'm going your way. And then we would be starting the second verse. Two drifters. So here is the first line of that, and it's actually just the same thing as the first line of the first verse, just different words. So that's going to be two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. So let's just work on that second line here. And I just want to say, these B's get kind of low here. If they're not sounding great on your piano and you want to at some point kind of jump an octave up, you could do, the C up in here, but then maybe go up to the F here, if that sounds better to your ear. So the first part of this line has kind of a cool sequence. So we've got this A minor, just like we've been doing it. Now for this A minor 7 over G, the right hand's gonna stay the same. All we're gonna do in the left hand is drop the pinky down to a G. Now for the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, all we gotta do is drop the pinky down to an F sharp, and yet again, keep everything the same. Now we've got this F9. This is a really cool moment here. It's gonna sound like this. So really, we're just taking the left hand down chromatically. The F sharp becomes an F, the E becomes an E flat, and then we're still got our thumb on A here, A, C with the second finger, pinky on G. And this is the one place in the song where the chord just kind of holds. We're not going to do the rhythm on it. So it's going to be, we're after the same rainbow's end. So now we just have this moment where we're going back and forth between the C over E and the F. We did a little bit of that in the first verse as well. My huckleberry friend. Now coming into the third line here, moon. So we've got this A minor, just like we've been doing it. So we've got this D minor 7, a lot like we did it before at the end of the first verse, except for we are gonna do the whole pattern, so we're gonna need to put our thumb on A for that 1 and 2, 3, to the G7. This one is just gonna hold, so second finger on G, and then we're kind of collapsing the right hand down like we had done before. And then we've got, and me. So that part at the end there sounds super fancy, but all we're doing is going back and forth between the F shape and the C over E shape. We do that twice. F, C over E, F, C over E. But the bass notes are stepping down F, E, D, C. You are gonna end up with your second finger on the G there for the G7, so I'm just gonna kind of lift my hand and put my second finger on the F to get ready for the walk down. And that is where I'm going to end my version. And notice this measure here just has the F, the C over E, and the F over D all crammed into one measure, so they each get one count. 1, 2, 3, and then landing on C. But it does sound nice to kind of drag it out and slow down a little bit there. Now the Frank Sinatra version goes around on these two verses a second time, and when it goes back to the first verse, I guess it would be the third verse, it's just instrumental, and then he sings like the second verse again. So if you want to extend your version, you can totally do that, but I'm just keeping mine short and sweet. All right. Thank you for listening. I am now going to do a full playthrough so you can see how these different parts fit together in a full cover of the song. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, click the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this one, and also leave a request in the comments. This song was actually a request. Beautiful song, had a lot of fun learning it. Okay, here's my version of Moon River. Moon